Hello everybody, how are you today? Hope you're fine. Today we are going to start our new lesson about the elements, okay? So we have to know that the number of the element that the scientists know is 118, okay? So the element is like the substance. We cannot break it down into simpler one, okay? So it is the simplest form of matter, and you know before that the matter is everything around us, and the matter is anything that has space and takes up space and has mass, okay? So the number of the element that the scientists discovered so far is 180 and 18, okay? So they classify them, which means they put them into groups according to their properties and electronic structures into three groups. The first one, I call it metals. Second one, non-metal. The third one, noble or inert gas. Okay, so in the lesson we are going to study the properties of metal, the properties of non-metal, the properties of the noble or inert gas, also the chemical bonds and their types. So the first one, we have metals. So what are the metals? So there are metals which contain one or two or three in their outer energy level, or in outermost energy level they have one or two or three. So there are the elements which contain less than 4 electrons in their outer energy level. They are solid. Most of them are solid except the liquid mercury, which is the only liquid metal. They have a metallic luster, and I call they are a shiny metals. They are a good conductor of heat and electricity, as you can see. Good conductor, which means allow the heat or the electricity to pass through them. So we use them to make the like a metallic pots or metallic pots, that when I put the fire below the pot, so it's going to conduct the heat and help the food to be cooked well, okay? They are malleable and ductile, يعني can be shaped. Like when I have the gold, I can shape it into rings. When I have the copper, I can shape it into wires. So I call it malleable and ductile. Okay, so again, let's sum up or wrap up what we have taken. So we said the metal, they have in their outer energy level 1 or 2 or 3. They have in outer energy level 1 or 2 or 3 electrons. The only liquid non-metal, we call it mercury. All of them are solid except mercury. We have here the metals. They are shiny and they are malleable. What we can see here, we can see that the cooking pots that cook the food, of course they are conducting the heat, and also we make the wires from the copper, because the copper are good conductor, or copper is good conductor of electricity. Also, as you can see here, they can shape it and make out of it shapes, so they are malleable and ductile. Okay, so let's see how they behave, the behavior of the atoms of metal during the chemical reactions. So as we said, in their outer energy level we can find 1 or 2 or 3. In order to be stable atom, they tend to lose an electron. So we have to complete their energy level with 8 electron. To in order to reach to their stable state, they must be 8. So they have two solutions. Maybe they lose this electron, or they complete it with 8. So it's easier for it to just lose the electron. So as you know, the sodium Na 11, so it will be 2, 8 and 1. Okay, so when it loses the electron, so it will be 2, 8. okay, and we can represent about the one electron they lost as a positive charge, which refer to that only one electron has been lost. Okay, so as we said, the number of electron has been lost, right? So it is one of the negative charges, so number of electron will be negative 10, right? And we said that the number of electron was like the number of proton, which is positive 11, right? So the whole charge is going to be positive. So during the chemical reaction, atoms of the metal tend to give the outermost electrons to the atom, so to complete the outermost energy level. So they tend to lose an electron from their outermost energy level. As you can see in the staple, in the neutral sodium atom, it has 11 electrons and 11 protons. Once it lost one electron, so now it has 10 electrons and 11 protons. So the number of protons is higher than the number of electrons, so it will take the charge of positive. So number of protons more than the number of electrons, so it will take the positive charge. And positive sodium, number of protons is more than the number of electrons. So the atom become a positive ion when it loses an electron or more, because the number of positive protons, of course, so it will take the positive charge, or because more than the number of the negative electrons. So the number of it will take the positive charge because it will take the charge, or take the charge, yes, of the higher number. So the higher number is proton, but the lower number is electron. So positive ion, it is an atom of the metallic element that lose an electron or more during the chemical reaction. So again, positive ion, it is an atom of a metallic element that lose one electron or maybe more when in the chemical reaction. Okay, so from the previous explanation, we have the positive sodium. The positive represent the losing electron. Okay, and this is a sample of the element. The number of protons in its nucleus is greater than the number of electrons, right? So the number of energy level around its nucleus is also less than the number of energy level. It was 3 and then it become 2. Carry number of positive charges equal to the number of the last electrons from the neutral atom. It carries a positive charge. If only one positive charge, so equal 1 electron. If it was 2 positive charge, so equal 2 lost electrons. So again, number of protons is greater than the number of electrons, so P more than N, so it will take the charge of N. The number of energy level, it was 3 for the neutral atom and then it became 2, and also the number of positive charge equal to the number of electrons from the neutral atom. Okay, so there is another example. We have Mg 12, so it will be 282 when it's going to be a stable one, so it's going to lose these 2 electrons, so it will be 282 positive charge. Okay, so here number of electrons equal 12. Here also number of protons equal 12. Number of energy level 3. Number of neutrons it will be 24 minus 12, so it will be 12 also. So number of neutrons will be the same, but the number of electrons will lose 2 or will be less than the neutral one by 2, so here it will be 10. Here it has a 3 energy level, here it has 2 energy level. Aluminium or aluminum, also here it's going to lose a 3, so here we have a 3 positive charge. Here it has the 13 electrons. Here it will have 10 electrons. Okay, so let's solve this one. The number of non-elements or up till now, so we said it's 118. All metals are what? Except which is liquid. So we said all metals are solid except mercury, which is liquid. metals has or have less than what electron on their outer energy level. So we said less than 4, maybe 1 or 2 or 3. Okay. So here we have the non-metals. So we have the non-metals. They have a special thing, or they have an outer energy level like more than 4. Okay, so it can be 5 or 6 or 7. Okay, so it's easier for the non-metals to gain electron or instead of losing these electrons, okay, instead of losing the electrons. So they tend to complete their outer energy level with 8. Okay, so there are elements which is contain more than 4 electrons in their outer energy level. Okay, and they are like, all of them also are solid except bromine, which is the only liquid non-metal. So bromine, it has a different shapes. It can be solid. So here we have the iodine, the solid. Here we have the bromine, which is the only liquid non-metal, and we have also chlorine, which is the gas. They have no luster, so they are not shiny. And we said that all the metals, they are good conductor of heat, electricity, but the non-metal, they are bad conductor of electricity and heat. Okay, so except one, which is graphite, that we use it to make the batteries. Also, as you can see, can we shape this one? No, we cannot shape it. It's like not malleable or not ductile. Okay, I cannot shape it. I cannot make shape out of it. In outer energy level, they tend to gain the electrons. So here it was 2, 5. So it will be, and I said it complete their energy level with 8. So it's going to gain 3 electrons, yes. So as you can see here, the number of electrons increase. So it became it was minus 7. So it will be minus 10. Okay. And the number of proton, of course, was 2 or positive 7. So as you can see here, the number of negative electrons become more than the number of positive protons. So it will take the charge of negative. Okay. Okay, so let's see. So we have here 7 electrons, and we said that it's going to gain like 3 electrons. So the net charge is going to be negative 10, and here to be positive 7. So it will take the charge of the electrons, which is 10. Okay, so during the chemical reaction, most of non-metal tend to gain electrons to complete their outer energy level with 8 electrons. Okay, so the atoms become negative when it gains an electron or more, because the number of negative electrons more than the number of positive protons. Negative ions, it is an atom of non-metal that gain an electron or more during the chemical reaction. As you can see here, we have the number of protons in the nucleus. We said that the number of protons less than the number of electrons, and the number of energy level, it became equal and the same the neutral one. And they can the number of negative charge is equal to the number of the gained electron, which is negative 3. So they represent the number of electron that the atom gain. This is a sample of the nitrogen atom. Okay, here we have the chlorine. Also it has 7, so it will gain only 1. So the atom going to be have a negative, which is indicate to the number of electrons that has been gained. Oxygen negative 2, so it gain only 2 electrons. So gain negative, lose positive. You hammer a piece of carbon, and why? So the carbon is one of the metals, so I can hammer on it. No, it's not one of the metal, it's one of non-metal, so we cannot hammer it. Okay, so when I hammer it, so it's going to be broken. Okay, so it will be fragmented easily, which means divided into fragments, because carbon is one of non-metals which are not malleable. I cannot just hammer on it. Okay, so a hydrogen atom and carbon atom are considered from nonmetals. Their energy level of them contain 1 electron for the hydrogen, and for the carbon has 4 electron. Okay. Okay, so even the hydrogen, we have only one, and we said that the only metal they have less than 4, right? So here it has 4, and here it has 1, but I consider them, they are non-metals. So the carbon and hydrogen, they are non-metals. Both sodium and oxygen have the same number of electrons. Okay, so let's see. Here 2, 8, 1, and here 2. So this one is going to gain 2 electrons, so it will have 8 in their outer energy level, and here going to lose this one and going to be 8. So because sodium is formed when the sodium lose 1 electron and changes to Na positive, so it contains 10 in their outer energy level, while the oxygen, they are going to gain 2 electrons, so they will have 8 in their energy level. So what is the ion? The atom of an element that lose or gain an electron or more during the chemical reaction. So the ion, it is an atom of an element that lose an electron or gain an electron during the chemical reaction. So again, so what is the ion? It is like the atom that lose an electron or gain the electron during the chemical reaction. When an atom change into ion, the mass number remains as it was, or as the same as without a change, but the electrons changes. So their mass number is going to be the same, but the number of electrons is going to change. Maybe it's going to increase or decrease. Increase in case of metal, and increase in case of the non-metal, and decrease in case of metal. Positive ion diameter is smaller than atomic diameter. Negative ion diameter is bigger than its atomic diameter. So when an atom loses an electron or more, its diameter decreases, and consequently its volume decreases due to the lack of electrons rather than protons, and the attraction of the nucleus and the remaining electrons increase. So again, a positive ion diameter is smaller than the atomic diameter, as we said that in when the atom loses an electron, the diameter decreases because it's losing an energy level, right? But here it's gaining, so it become bigger than the diameter. Okay, so here Na becomes smaller diameter, and for chlorides or chlorine, and for chlorine, so it become bigger. So the atom, it is electrically neutral charged, but the ion can be positive or negative. Number of electrons equal to the number of protons. Number of electrons can be more than or less than the number of protons. The outer energy level is not completely filled with the electrons except the atom of the noble gas. Here the number of like atoms in outer energy level, it can be completely filled with electron or not. There is a comparison between the metals and non-metal. So the metals, all of them, they are solid except the mercury, which is the only liquid metal. Non-metal, all of them are solid except the bromine. They are shiny, they are not shiny, doesn't have any luster, they are malleable and ductile, can be shaped and can hammered on. Not malleable and not ductile. Good conductor of electricity and heat, not good conductor, which is bad conductor of electricity and heat. The only liquid, the only one which is conduct electricity, which is graphite, that I use in making battery. Their energy level has less than 4. Here the energy level has more than 4 in their outermost energy level. The chemical reactions tend to lose an electron or more during the chemical reaction and change into positive ion. Here during the chemical reaction tend to gain electrons and change into negative ion. positive ion and negative ion, so the atom of the metallic element that lose an electron or more during the chemical reaction. Here the atom of non-metal tend to gain electrons in the chemical reaction. It carry positive charge equal to the number of the lost one, carry negative charge equal the number of the gained electrons. Here the number of electrons going to be less, here the number of electrons going to be more. Number of energy level going to be less, here the number of energy level going to be equal. The third one is going to be the inert gas. Inshallah, we are going to talk about it the next session.